It is a dark, rainy, stormy night at the hotel around 7 p.m. Charlie had been pacing around, thoughts racing a million miles a minute. "Faggy, do you have the room ready yet for our new guest?" she asks, looking over to her girlfriend with a worried expression. Faggy had leaned against the right wall by the fireplace and nodded reassuringly. "Yes, Charlie, quit stressing," she replies, before walking over and setting the last bit of food down on the coffee table. "I'm sure everything will run smoothly. I just hope that furry red dildo behaves himself." Now, Vaggie, be nice," Charlie scolds. "Alistair may have his antisocial tendencies, but he can learn. And besides, I have a feeling that he will really like this guest. She's unexpected, one way to put it, and with the new hotel in full swing, she will really pack this place. And especially since we won the war last extermination, remember? I just know it's all going to be okay." Husker had been up at the bar, shuffling his poker cards before drinking from his bottle of rum. I doubt he would know anything about real manners. He snaps, "If I had a dime for every time a female turned down his advances, I'd be on a yacht miles away from here. No woman in her right mind would want to touch him with a 10-foot pole." Charlie clears her throat awkwardly. "Yes, well, maybe let's not try to kill each other when our guest gets here. We want to make her feel welcome, don't we?" she chirps, chuckling nervously. "I just don't get why you won't tell us about her at least," says Husker. Charlie replies, "It's a surprise. Quite frankly, she doesn't like anyone spoiling the fun for her. Let's just say she likes to make a grand entrance." Before Charlie could reply, there was a violent quake and the ground began to open. Purple mist seeps in through the cracks of the dark abyss beneath. The sound of vintage 1930s music that is distorted along with the blood-curdling cries that carried through the static, and a 1910 lavender-colored Ford motorcar had emerged. As the full moon rose over the horizon, a ravishing 25-year-old female, a demon bat with curly violet locks in a bun with 2 strands of hair falling to the porcelain flesh of her neck, had came into view. She has matching lavender eyes that glow through the dark. Furthermore, she silently and eerily, with a sadistic grin on her luscious midnight shade-painted lips, had exited the motor car as the vehicle jerked to a halt, and she mounted out of the driver's side. A hellborn with witch-like abilities, the enchantress snapped her fingers, causing the motor car to vanish. Her black bat wings flap elegantly. She wears a 1930s-inspired outfit, a red corset with gold buttons on them and a dreamcatcher necklace around her throat. She holds a gold skull cane in her hand, circular, bronze-rimmed spectacles reflecting some sort of light from the moon itself. Charlie Morningstar happily greets her. "Ah, Andromeda, isn't it? We're so glad to have you as a long-term guest at the hotel," she chirps. "It is an honor to have a radio show hostess and a musical talent here straight from the south side of the nether." In a smooth, velvety Cajun accent, Andromeda replies with, "Oh, aren't you just as sweet as pie, darling?" She chimes, "I'm most flattered, princess." "So, Andromeda," Faggy says, walking over to them with an angered expression. "Not that I want to interrupt, but couldn't you have just used the front door? That floor was brand new. And we will definitely need to set some ground rules. We are a business after all, and I hope that there won't be any other destruction of public property." Andromeda shifts her nonchalant gaze over to her and chuckles darkly. Now, darling Vagatha, calm yourself. It's nothing that can't be fixed." She snaps her fingers, the floor then molding itself back together, leaving a large crack that Nifty covers with a large crimson rug. "I'm sure that the princess's daddy dearest had informed you all that an arrangement was made, whereas I offer my services to help with the hotel's adverts, and I gain attraction of new listeners from my radio show, Late Night Bites. Perhaps you've heard of it?" "Oh, absolutely," Charlie chimes in. "You're quite famous. Rosie mentioned you the last time she visited." Andromeda's violet eyes beam with intrigue. "Rosie?" she mutters, her expression faltering slightly. It softens. "Is everything okay?" Charlie asks, concerned. "Oh, of course," Andromeda stammers, letting out a heavy sigh and straining her posture. "Now, is my room prepared?" Charlie hands her keys. There you go. Now then, about the expectations here, she starts. Then a familiar loud sound of radio static fills the air, and out of the green fog steps out the radio demon. With a signature closed eye, whitened yellow and sharp grin, Alistair bows elegantly before leaning on his cane. Forgive me for my tardiness, Charlotte, he chimes. I heard the hotel walls and ground tremble, and I heard as soon as I... Once his maroon eyes open, his expression changes. His eyes narrow at first, but his undead black heart skips a beat and he blinks. Alistair then clears his throat, trying his best to compose himself, his fuzzy red ears twitching. Could. He studies the female Cajun bat in awe. Is it sheer curiosity? Certainly. Panic? Maybe a little. The radio demon tries to shake off these strange emotions, these feelings he can't identify nor fathom himself. Alistair? Charlie says, gesturing over to Andromeda, who flutters her black paper fan in front of her face, her violet eyes glistening under the chandelier. This is a mistress of the bayou, Alistair says, tilting his head aside, his eyes turning into radio dials that spin before returning to normal. Alistair the radio demon, what a pleasure to meet you, quite the pleasure. Such a bewitching opposing figure with a knack and flair for the dramatics. It seems she and I share a similar palette when it comes to style. Alistair, as quick as a whip, flashes right in front of Andromeda, taking her right, black, velvet, fingerless gloved hand and leaning down to kiss her knuckles. Andromeda clears her throat, trying to hide the small blush, and she slowly slides her hand out of his grip once his lips touch her skin. A soft caress. I knew I felt my skin crawl when I entered this room, Mr. Alistair. Your reputation precedes you, it seems. She responds coolly. My, aren't you a flatterer? Alistair exclaims. Andromeda snaps her fingers once again, her luggage levitating behind her. Now, I'm quite famished. Before I retire for the evening, I must establish ground rules of my own, she says. Like what? Charlie asks. For instance, Andromeda says, turning to face her. I'm nocturnal, so I do acquire an ample amount of sleep. From dawn until 11 a.m., I do not wish to be disturbed. I do have many gigs throughout the day I attend, as I fly wherever the music takes me. Secondly, my room is my personal space. I much enjoy my solidarity, and would like it to not be invaded. And thirdly, well, as our new guest, we thought you'd like to participate in all the fun activities I had planned. Charlie cuts in, getting a little too close for comfort for Andromeda, who is seemingly getting a little annoyed. Trust fall exercises, charades, arts and crafts, pin the tail on the imp. Andromeda arches an eyebrow before scoffing and waving her fan dismissively. Oh, what irritatingly charming and mundane, childish suggestions, she says, leaning in close to Charlie till they're at eye level. And Charlie stiffened, gulping nervously. Andromeda then eyes the welcome decorations, seemingly unimpressed and disinterested. All due respect, Princess, but all of this, well, how do I say this delicately? Andromeda pauses briefly for a moment, letting out a huff. All very ridiculous, and really now, as if I'm the type who would partake in such immature things. Charlie's heart sank. But I was only trying to, she stutters, and Vaggie pulls her aside, placing her hands on her hips, glaring at Andromeda. Hey, there's no need to be rude, you know. Charlie worked really hard to make you feel at home here, she spat. Yes, well, clearly, she hasn't done much so far to appease me yet, has she? She chirps, before ascending the stairs. Good night. Andromeda then disappears into the shadows. Angel Dust scoffs. Miss Doom and Gloom is going to be a real piece of work, if you ask me. Angel, we had to do something, Vaggie says. The press has been circling this place like piranhas, hounding Charlie every minute. We need to keep an image that will attract new patrons here, if this whole redemption project is going to be successful at all. Have you not seen what's been said about Charlie lately? Angel argues. The 6-6 News, Katie Killjoy, and that lackey of hers have been smearing her name, especially Vox no less, who seems to be enjoying the boost in the ratings. Yeah, I saw, Charlie says sorrowfully in exhaustion. I don't get it. I'm just trying to help those who want to improve. How is that so wrong? Because it affects the V's from having any control over their businesses, Vaggie says. All of this is just a hate campaign. It will pass. They're just trying to discourage you, and we can't stop now. Come on, the show must go on. That's what your dad says all the time, right? Charlie hangs her head low. Yeah, but Sir Pentious, she trails off reluctantly. Charlie, Sir Pentious will come back. I heard the trial went well. I'm sure the embassy had agreed to release him from custody. I'm afraid it's a lot more complicated than that. Charlie turns around. Emily? Emily pops out of her own portal, a white, swirling wisp of cloud and light. I don't have much time to explain, Charlie. Pentious has been cleared of any wrongdoings and has avoided serious repercussions, she begins. But Sarah has put heaven under lockdown, and Sir Pentious being the first one of a kind to be redeemed, returning to hell may not be that easy. Nobody can travel to and from both realms without explicit permission. I only managed to sneak away, but only for this short amount of time. I can't remain here much longer. I just needed you to know. Now I must go. Bye now. The portal then closes as Emily leaves. Vaggie, what do we do now? What does this mean? What do we tell Cherry? Maybe Sarah's just taking precautions. After all, maybe there are some up there that may have their concerns with hell uprising. After all, many think our hotel is just about killing more of their own. But they attacked us first. Adam broke the code, didn't he? He threatened me that day when I first visited in front of the whole embassy, and he tried to kill me and Dad on an extermination day. I know, Charlie. I'm sure all of them know that. But that doesn't mean they're entirely used to the change. And I don't doubt Lute still holds a grudge. Let's just focus on trying to get me out of hot water with the public's eye opinion of me, Charlie says. I tried calling my mom, but she never answers. I'm sure she's just busy doing important queen stuff. Right. After all, it's not like things could get any worse.